Driving a transit vehicle can be a challenging task due to the many vehicle dynamics, including the size. As a professional operator, you must become familiar with the size of any vehicle you operate. A transit vehicle is much wider and taller than a standard car. This can create hazards maneuvering in tight places that you normally wouldn't have an issue with in a smaller car. Properly managing clearance and space around your vehicle starts with maintaining a safe cushion of space. You need to manage the space on all 6 sides of your vehicle: the front, back, right and left sides, along with overhead and below the vehicle. Make sure you know the width and height of your vehicle and are aware of any clearance issues you may encounter throughout the day. Fixed objects such as light poles, street signs, trash cans, or even standing pedestrians are things you need to look out for. When you are attempting to make a right turn, you will need to make sure you are clear of any fixed objects. Ensuring the mirrors on the bus and in the bus are correctly positioned is essential to safe passenger transportation, as it enables the operator to accurately see motorists, objects, and pedestrians near and in the bus. What should you see in your mirrors? Your left flat driver's side mirrors will let you see the following: traffic and any obstacles to your left side. You should see the left side of the vehicle along the inside edge of your left mirror. The side of the bus should occupy no more than 1 inch of the mirror. You should be able to see about 200 feet to the rear of the bus. Your left rear tire should be barely visible, touching the mirror's bottom edge. Your right flat mirrors should help you with the following: you should be able to see traffic and any obstacles to your right side. Again, with this side, you still have a blind spot along the first half of your vehicle. You should see the right side of the vehicle along the inside edge of your right mirror. The side of the bus should occupy no more than 1 inch of the mirror. You should be able to see about 200 feet to the rear of the bus. Your right rear tires touching the ground. The left and right convex mirrors should help with the following: adjust your convex mirrors so you can see the entire area along the side of the vehicle, as well as the point where the front of the rear tire touches the ground. You should be able to see at least 1 traffic lane on each side of the vehicle. Assume that anything in your convex mirror is directly beside your vehicle due to the distortion effect. As for your inside mirrors, they should be adjusted so you can view all your passengers inside your vehicles so you can check on them as you drive. Another prevention strategy to avoid fixed object or turning collisions is to leverage your reference points. You have 5 reference points. They include: number 1, the centering reference point. The centering reference point is used to center the vehicle in your lane and avoid mirror strikes or side swipes. You must be aware of hazards on the left side of the bus, such as mirrors of oncoming vehicles, as well as clearances on the right side of the bus, such as parked cars or other fixed objects. Reference point number 2, the 6-inch reference point. This is used for loading and unloading. It helps you position your vehicle 6 inches from the curb so passengers can safely and easily get on and off the vehicle. Reference point number 3, the 4-foot reference point. The side of the bus should ideally be 4 feet from the curb when the bus is moving. If you cannot leave a 4-foot clearance in city traffic, leave at least 3 feet, but drive extra cautiously. This is extremely useful for right turns and is known as the turning point. Leveraging this reference point allows you to turn with precision and avoid turns that are too wide or too tight. Reference point number 4, the backing reference point. First of all, avoid backing if you don't have to. When you do back, get out and look, or use a spotter. Know your reference point. Make sure you always stop the vehicle before your backing reference point lines up with the bottom of whatever is behind you. And finally, reference point number 5, the intersection reference point. The intersection reference point helps you safely maneuver through the intersections for your turns. Anytime you make a turn or pull up to a stop, make sure you use your mirrors and reference points to safely maneuver your vehicle. And remember that maintaining a safe speed helps you control your vehicle as you make your maneuvers. Practicing these fundamentals will keep everyone safe and ensure that we continue to deliver the best customer experience.
It was a silly mistake. I've been driving on the buses for years. Never have I made such a stupid mistake. I did check my blind spots, but I just didn't lean forward. I just couldn't see him. It was only a low-speed impact. I must have been going no more than 5 miles an hour, but he banged his head on the windscreen and then again on the floor. I mean, he looked fine. I just went into a bit of a daze. Things went so slowly. I will never forget. It was like a lifetime before the paramedics arrived. The frustrating thing is, it was all so avoidable. We all know about blind spots. We drive every day, we're professionals. But that one lapse can lead to a deadly error. A blind spot is an area of hidden ground caused by the vehicle's bodywork. There are multiple blind spots around your bus, which are points where there is limited or no visibility around your vehicle without adjusting your body position. On the left, the main ones are at 10 and 11 o'clock. The viewpoint is restricted at several points during a manoeuvre, or even when parked at a bus stop, and incurs the most incidents. Clearly shown on multiple blind spots when looking left at this area from the driver's cab. At 12 o'clock there is a full blind spot under the cab, which children or elderly pedestrians may pass in front of while stopped. On the right there is a 1 o'clock blind spot, which can be even more restricted due to the mirror positioning. This blind spot has similar issues as the 10 and 11 o'clock blind spots when turning right. The mirror at this point can be adjusted to reduce the blind spot area and increase visibility. Most collisions occur when turning into a junction, especially when there are many pedestrians, for example entrances to bus stations and turning into town centres. This diagram shows the extent of a bus's blind spot, 8 o'clock through to 11 o'clock. Vehicle design plays a large part in increasing blind spot areas, and then the driver's failure to check the blind spot areas when in motion and when undertaking a manoeuvre. People walk at approximately 4 miles an hour. When a bus slows to turn a 90-degree bend, it also slows to approximately 4 miles an hour. This movement enhances the blind spots, as both the pedestrian and the vehicle are moving at the same pace, meaning the pedestrian may remain in the blind spot for the duration of the manoeuvre. We all know where these blind spots are. We now need to eliminate them. As a driver, we are responsible not only for the passengers on board, but the pedestrians around us. We must lean to look into the blind spot area before making any manoeuvre. Lean and learn before you turn. Look around into the hidden ground.
So there's two ways to check your blind spot, an incorrect way and a correct way. I'm going to demonstrate the incorrect way first. This would be to exaggerate the check, whereas you move your whole body over to look out the window, you get your head close to the window, your thigh will come off the chair, your back will move away from the backrest. So what happens when your body moves, your right leg moves unintentionally, you cover the gas pedal instead of the brake, and then when you need to brake, you put your foot down thinking you're on the brake, and you end up maybe crashing into a vehicle in front, a building, or even worse, a pedestrian. So the correct way to do the blind spot check, you keep your left thigh on the chair, your back stays against the backrest. This allows you to lean over, check your blind spot. As you come back, your right leg hasn't moved, you're still covering the brake, which will help prevent foot placement error and give everyone a good, safe experience.
This is a visual explanation of tail swings, overhangs and projections. When a plane takes off and lands, the most dangerous part is the takeoff and landing process. With buses, most collisions occur when pulling into and away from bus stops. A number of bus stops don't present a hazard as they are free from obstructions. However, in today's world, many bus stops do have obstructions and can cause incidents involving overhangs and projections front and rear. What is an overhang on your bus? At the front, it is the distance from the front wheel to the front of the bus. The projection is the extended mirror arm on the near side. At the rear, the overhang is the distance from the rear wheels to the back of the bus. When a bus turns and the overhang goes over the pavement, we refer to this as a tail swing. Looking at this example, there is already a bus at the bus stop, and we have to stop close to the gap in the railings to allow the customers to board and alight. If we stop too close to the curb and too close to the vehicle in front, when pulling away we risk colliding with the bus in front, with the near side mirror arm, which is projected forward of your bus, also the near side tail swing colliding with the railings as you pull away. How can we make this safer? There are a number of options. The first option is to wait for the bus in front to go first. In all situations, when stopping behind another bus already stationary, do not assume the bus will be moving soon. The bus could have broken down, it could be waiting for a driver changeover, or there may be another reason the driver is not with the vehicle. Therefore, when stopping behind a bus, you should stop in a position where you have room to pull around. You should always aim to get close to the curb for customers, but because of the tail swing, you will need to stop at an angle with the rear wheels slightly away from the curb and the railings. If you don't stop at an angle, this is how close your rear overhang will come to the railings, and potentially even collide with the railings as you pull away. If customers are alighting, always ask them not to walk down the side of the bus between the railings and the vehicle. Before you pull away, you must always make sure there was no one between your bus and the railings. In this example, we have two vehicles parked before and after the bus stop. If you see this on approach, the ideal situation is to stop before or after the bus stop, assuming it is clear, safe and legal to do so. When stopped in this position, you will need to lower the platform and take a good look in your near side mirror. If you cannot stop before or after, you should stop parallel with the vehicle. Approach the bus stop slowly, indicating you wish to pull up to the stop. Look out for vehicles that may want to pull out. Let them do so, as it may give you the space required to pull up to the stop. Be aware of pedestrians emerging from between parked vehicles, also cyclists who may attempt to undertake your bus. How do I position my bus? The wrong way is trying to stick your front overhang into the gap in between the parked vehicles. When you do this, there is a risk of colliding with the vehicle in front of you as you attempt to pull away. You may also collide with the vehicle behind as your tail swing will sweep to the left. In addition, your offside rear corner may encroach into the path of other vehicles. The right way is to stop in a position so that vehicles parked on your left are boxed in and cannot move off, or undertake your bus whilst you are stationary. Difficulties may be encountered with one car just before the bus stop when pulling in at too sharp an angle. Here you can see the bus mirror arm nearly collides with the bus stop, and the front overhang skims over the raised curb, and in fact, in this example, the bus collides with the raised curb. As the bus continues to straighten up, there is a great risk of the rear of the vehicle colliding with the parked car. Wherever there is an obstruction at a bus stop, it is completely acceptable and expected that you can stop before or after the bus stop pole or shelter. When stopped in this position, you will need to lower the platform and take a good look in your near side mirror, as cyclists may try to pass you on the near side. Of course, it goes without saying, if somebody with a wheelchair, pushchair, buggy or pram is attempting to board or alight, you will have to continue past the parked vehicles and find the nearest safe and legal place to stop. Here is an overhead view showing the tail swing across the pavement when pulling away at various distances from a parked vehicle and the curb. This is the wrong way. Too close to the vehicle in front and too close to the curb. If you have to stop too close to the vehicle in front, you can position your bus a distance away from the curb. However, there is an increased risk of cyclists passing on the near side. Plus, if elderly or disabled people or people with prams and pushchairs wish to board or alight, you will need to get the entrance platform closer to the pavement edge. If you are operating a bus with multiple doors, you should request that customers use the front doors to board and alight only in this scenario. In this final example, a car is parked in a bus lay-by. When pulling in at an increased angle due to a parked vehicle, be aware of your front overhang and the projection of the mirror arm. In this scenario, you need to reduce the approach angle and go beyond the bus shelter to straighten the vehicle in the lay-by. This will prevent the tail of the bus being in a live lane on a fast road.
Heat-related illness is a medical condition that can happen as a result of extreme heat exposure. It can show up as a heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and the most serious, heat stroke. Recognizing the symptoms of heat-related illnesses can mean the difference between life and death. When the body loses too much water and salt, heat exhaustion sets in. Symptoms may include weakness, headache, dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting, rapid weak pulse, heavy sweating, clammy skin, nausea and vomiting. Heat stroke is serious and can lead to brain damage or death if not treated promptly and properly. Heat stroke victims may experience high body temperature, a rapid pulse, hot, red, dry or moist skin, confusion, a decrease in alertness, blurred judgment, and possible unconsciousness. If you suspect someone is suffering from heat exhaustion or heat stroke, call 911 immediately. This is a medical emergency. Move the person to a cooler location. Lie them down. Remove excessive layers of clothing. Reduce the person's body temperature with ice packs, cool cloths, a bath, and/or a fan. Give them water to sip. However, do not give fluids if the person vomits.
There is a close link between radiation from the sun and also heat-related illness. Sun protection factor is not the best control. The best control is to avoid sitting in the sun, especially between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. because that's when the hottest temperatures are. To stay safe, 1. Make sure that you are fully hydrated. 2. Listen to the weather forecast and avoid being out in the heat. Make sure you wear sun protection factor. Avoid alcoholic drinks and caffeine. Make sure you wear light clothing. Cotton is preferable. And also protect your head with a hat to avoid sun radiation.
The dog days of summer don't have to be dangerous. Recognize the warning signs. Awareness is the key to preventing heat-related illnesses.